finally here. We are less than a week away from Mario Kart World, and I could not be more excited. It is all I've been thinking about. I've been hyper fixated about this game for at least a month, and we are finally getting it. But as happy as I am, I'm also a little sad. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been the Mario Kart for nearly a decade, and Mario Kart 8 in general has been the Mario Kart for more than a decade. So it's kind of the end of an era, and I thought the best way to celebrate it is to do something that I've kind of wanted to do for a long time, and now it's a now or never. And that is to rank every single Mario Kart 8 Deluxe course, all 96 of them. No, I'm not talking about the battle courses, I could not care less about them. When thinking about doing this, I was a little intimidated because just of the sheer volume. Like at first I was like, oh, well I can just talk 2 to 3 minutes about each course and call it a day. But then I realized that there's 96 courses, and doing that would make a 4-hour video. So I'm going to try to be brief and just really delve into specific courses. And hopefully this video is only like a half hour or so. I don't know, I've never done something like this before, and I don't want to kill my wife by giving her 2-hour audio. Fun fact, my wife is the one who adds these little toast PNGs in the edit, and then I go and do the rest of the edit. So, you know, hi, honey. Anyway, without any further ado, yes, these are ranked in order, but to be very honest with you, they're also tiered from S to F, and the tier is the most, objective thing, I believe. Because the order of them can probably change day by day, whereas their general placement in the ranking is pretty set in stone. And that does include the top 5. The top 5 might duke it out every now and then, but them being the top 5 is something I hold true. And finally, as far as how I'm going to be ranking them, obviously this isn't necessarily objective because everyone has their own opinions on what makes a good kart racing course. But for me, it really comes down to how fun is it and how fun is it to look at. Those are my two main things. Music is important, but I'm going to listen to music regardless. Mario Kart doesn't make a bad song, that's just a fact. But as far as how I'm valuing these courses, it really comes down to, is it fun to play on and is it fun to look at? If one of those two things is true, then it's going to be pretty middle of the pack. If both are true, we're talking upper echelon. And if neither are true, we're talking near the bottom. Speaking of, let's start off with my least favorite course in the entirety of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, starting in the F tier with only 2 courses. But number 96, Water Park. I get it. Look, some people love this course because admittedly, parts of it are cute. But I think the main reason why I have such beef with this course, and why a lot of people do, this is not a rare opinion, is it does 2 things really poorly. One, it kind of squanders the idea of a water park race course. We could have been going down water slides or shooting out of big diving boards into pools, but we get one water section, which is just a pool where we go straight, a very slow loop-de-loop that's basically one long turn, and then we drive next to a thing that's underwater, and we come out of the water again, and it's over. Look, I get it's the second course in the entire game, so it's got to be easy, and it's got to welcome people in, but you can be easy and good. Mario Kart Stadium, an objectively easier course, we're not going to see for a good bit, because it's at least fun to play on. Water Park not only is not very fun to play on, but it's not really fun to look at. They don't do a lot with the idea of a water park here, and it's just disappointing. Look, I said I'm not going to go too far into all of them. I swear, I'm going to try not to, but I had to explain why it's my least favorite. Anyway, number 95, Tokyo Blur. Once again, not an uncommon opinion here. All of the city courses are kind of mid because they feel like they were planned to look cool before they were planned to be fun to race on. And it's always a little confusing to know where you're going. The arrows, I think, would be a lot less frustrating if they just bumped you away instead of taking you out of bounds immediately. And it just feels a little whack. But some of them are good. You know, some of them, spoiler, Vancouver, that's going to be way higher up because I really like that course. Tokyo Blur not only is kind of bland in course design, but has possibly the least interesting third lap I've ever seen. Nobody likes driving on the highway. Why did you make Driving on the Highway Simulator? But those are honestly my only 2 F-tier courses. Most of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe roster is pretty heat. So as far as courses I don't really like racing on, F-tier, don't like them at all. But now we're moving on to the D tier. These courses, alright, you know, I'm not upset when I see them, but they are here, objectively. Starting off with number 94, Berlin Byways. What can I say? It's another Mario Kart Tour City track, and this one doesn't necessarily stand out all that well. I don't like it very much. This one shot looks cool. That's about it. Number 93, Madrid Drive. Again, I don't have a lot to say here. It's a city course, it's a tour course, it's kinda mid. The track design isn't that fun, and the surrounding spots aren't that interesting to look at. Number 93, Shroom Ridge. Back to non-tour city tracks, this course is like alright, and it's decent to play on, but the track layout itself is very boring. If there wasn't opposing traffic here, it would not be fun to race on. It's just a very standard course. But a little about me, I'm not a fan of opposing traffic courses, because I feel like a lot of them use that as an excuse to give us lazy track design. And that's kind of what we get here with Shroom Ridge. Not to mention the surroundings, while like, yes, looking off the cliff is kind of pretty and all, but that's it. It's a very basic, visually designed course. Number 91, Amsterdam Drift. It's another city track. I don't know what you want me to say. It's a city track. Number 90, Merry Mountain. Look, I get it. It's pretty. All right, it is very objectively pretty to look at, and that train track shortcut is very fun. But I cannot get over the fact that this course is essentially a big oval. And like, look, I get it. I've got another oval way higher on my list than most people do. But this oval, I just don't jive with. I think what it is that I don't have any nostalgia attached to this course, so I give it way less of a pass for just being a big oval. Number 89, New York Minute. It's still in D tier, but I will say, of the city tracks, we're getting to the ones I prefer. Where, look, I don't prefer any city track, but by the time we get to New York Minute, I'm okay with this. You know, this at least has a more interesting track layout. Still a little confusing to figure out where you're going. The song's a banger, and I like driving in the park, but it's still like, I'd rather do any other kind of course. Number 88, Dry Desert. I am a sucker for Double Dash. It's something you're going to see as we go on, that most of the Double Dash remakes are going to be high on this list, because Double Dash is my favorite Mario Kart game. I think the course selection in Double Dash is second to none, and I think the vibe of Double Dash was one of the most whimsical vibes we got out of this series. That being said, why is Dry Desert in the D tier? Well, it is one of the more boring Double Dash tracks. Like, it had two things going for it. It was really hard to dodge all these spinies and tornadoes, and there was a weird piranha plant sarlacc pit in the middle that if you got in without a mushroom, you were boned. And they kind of sanitized it for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. One of the things I don't love about the growing trend in Mario Kart is the tracks are getting wider and easier to navigate. And I'm not the only person saying that. I think a good way to showcase this is DK Jungle, which we'll get to eventually, where on Double Dash, DK Jungle's bridge was like maybe 2 cars wide, and it was wobbly. You were likely to fall. And then when they brought it back for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it was way easier. And I get it's a party game, they want the games to be more approachable, but I think Double Dash had a really good sense of like difficulty in a way, and that just kind of got stripped away when it was brought over. Also, weird thing about Double Dash, they loved, for whatever reason, I have nowhere else to say this but here, Double Dash loved putting shortcuts that were way longer than the regular track. I don't know why, but they were all over the place. Like Peach Beach, you could go off to the left in the beginning to go through a pipe and get an item. It was incredibly slower, but you could do it. I don't know why, they just did that all over. Number 87, Sky High Sunday. I'm not the only person to say that this track is kind of boring. Like, the glider section is alright, but once again, we're talking about an oval. And it is fun to do constant tricks, but it is also just a big oval. There's not a lot of skill involved on this course. I'm really hopeful for the Mario Kart World remake, where they seem to add a lot more stuff to do, but as it stands, just kind of boring. Number 86, Toad Circuit. Yeah, I don't know why they brought this back. I mean, it's the like starter level for 3DS, and it feels like a starter level. I don't know who wanted Toad Circuit back. Like, it's alright. The big Toad's funny. I don't know who wanted this. Number 85, London Loop. One of the better designed tour city courses, and one of the last ones I haven't gotten to yet. The aesthetic is really cool. I like the slight fog to it. And the actual course itself, I think is designed pretty solidly. It's not amazing. It's still in the D tier. But for a city course, it's alright. Number 84, Royal Raceway. I don't know what it is about this one. I just don't jive with it. I know a lot of people really like the layout of Royal Raceway, but nothing really sticks out to me as like, oh hell yeah, I love this. It's just kind of like, it's alright. I guess the best thing I can say about it is just, it's alright. Number 83, Excite Bike Arena. I love this course for exactly one reason. 200cc, golden mushrooms only. Incredibly fun to play Excite Bike Arena on 200cc with golden mushrooms only. But if we're doing like an actual race, guys, it's an oval again. I don't know what you want me to say. Number 82, Sunset Wilds. A lot of people have a lot of mixed and negative feelings towards Sunset Wilds because it took away the main thing, the fact that the sun sets as you race. I get being upset about that. I don't really care. I never played Super Circuit on the GBA. I don't plan on playing it. So I don't have an attachment of like, oh, it did have a sunset and it was really cool and they took it away. I can take it or leave it. I think it being in the setting sun looks nice enough, and I like the aesthetic of this course. The track sucks though. It's not fun to race on. It's pretty boring, in my opinion. Number 81, Mario Circuit. Yeah, look, I get that they added the like extendo low grav ramp. I don't care. This track's boring. I'm not a huge fan of any of the SNES or GBA Mario circuits. They're pretty like to me. And okay, maybe this is a hot take, but I haven't seen anybody say this, so I feel like it might be a hot take, but I feel like it's just common sense. Is this not just Mario Kart Stadium again? Like, the whole thing about Mario Kart Stadium is that you're doing a course and there's one big turn that goes up because of low grav. And then we have Mario Circuit, where you do your course and it just has one big turn that goes up. Like, I don't know. When I saw Mario Circuit, I'm like, wait, isn't that just Mario Kart Stadium again? Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. But that is our last course in D tier. We're officially moving on to C tier. I think from this point forward, any of these courses, no complaints. I have, I guess not no complaints. That doesn't make sense. Any of these courses moving forward, I've got complaints, but I'm not complaining when I play them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm perfectly happy to play any course moving forward, but I do have problems with them. Starting with number 80 with Mario Kart Stadium, the thing I was just talking about. Look, I get it. It's the first racetrack. It's got to be pretty easy so you don't lose anybody, but it is boring. It is very straightforward. And the low grav here doesn't really change anything, so it's not that cool. Number 79, Los Angeles Laps. All right, this one gets a pass for two reasons. One, it makes me feel like a skateboarder when we're on the boardwalk section, and two, it's really pretty. I like beach scenes. This looks really cool. The course design is similarly a little lackluster like most city tracks, but I just like the aesthetic of this one a lot, so it gets a pass. Number 78, Sydney Sprint. We got some more cities to go through. This one, I think its track design is actually starting to be the first like fun to race on track design. I especially like the sidewalk section along the riverbank. And again, I'm a sucker for a waterfront. And I do like, I know some people don't love it. I like it when the last lap goes backwards. I love that they did that with Peach Gardens, which we'll get to, and I love how they did that here, where you're going through the track and on the last lap you go back the way you came to go back through the Sydney Opera House again. I think it's really cool. Number 77, Bangkok Rush. I'm a simple guy. Being so real, half of the reason it's here is because I really like the bouncy section at the end after the parking garage. It's like kind of mid other than that. I just really like bouncy stuff. Number 76, Calamari Desert. Yeah, it's a oval. I will say this version of Calamari Desert is pretty peak because of having to go on the tracks for the third lap and avoid the train. That is a really solid way to elevate this course and make it more fun. But it is still a little boring. Like, that's the one highlight for me. Number 75, my wife is going to threaten to divorce me for this, Toad's Turnpike. One of, if not my wife's favorite course in this game. Sorry, honey, it's a figure 8. And I'm not a huge fan of traffic levels. Number 74, Cheap Cheap Beach. This one's like, okay, I'm torn on this one. The track design of this one is kind of mid. It's all right, but I really like the aesthetic. I think it's very pretty. I love the waterfront. I love the little mini jungle section. I just like a lot about how this track looks. Admittedly, the track design itself, kind of mid, which I guess is why it's in the 70s. Number 73, Donut Plains 3. One of possibly the best SNES remakes we've ever gotten. Like, it looks way more impressive. I know what they're going for. They kept that little nod to the original with the multicolored curbs, but it's pretty, there's grass, the water is more interesting. It's a really well-designed version of an SNES course. Unfortunately, it's still an SNES course. Number 72, DK Jungle. It's alright. You know, we're in the middle of the pack, and I say the middle of the pack, we're only in the 70s, but like, I've mentioned that a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks are pretty good. And when we get into C tier, I mean, it's alright. I don't know what you want me to say, dog. It's alright. I like the aesthetic, I like the nod to DK Country, but the track design is kind of mid, so here's where it ended up. Number 71, Mario Kart Circuit 3. Remember everything I said about Donut Plains 3? Take all of that away, but give it a better track design. Now we've got Mario Kart Circuit 3. If Mario Kart Circuit 3 looked like Donut Plains 3, I think we'd have a B tier on our hands. The track design's way better, but god damn does this look boring. Number 70, Athens Dash. One of the harder Mario Kart Tour tracks, at least the city tracks, and I love the verticality of this track. And I know a lot of people complain about the texturing, which is warranted, but I kind of like the aesthetic that it gives us here. Regardless, I think the track design here is really fun. So that's why it's a bit above the pack from the rest of the city tracks, which I think there's only like 3 or so left. And we're still in C tier. Uh-oh. Number 69, nice, Choco Mountain. I have never played Mario Kart 64, so I don't have as much of an affinity with the courses from there. But I know everyone always talked about how fun Choco Mountain was. This was my first time playing it, and like, yeah, it's alright. The track design is pretty interesting, and I like dodging the boulder, and the bats are fun. But as far as the course itself, not super visually appealing. It does kind of look like Poop Mountain. I don't like being in Poop Mountain. Poop Mountain's a bad place. Number 68, Mario Circuit. Alright, this one gets a pass, because yes, it's a figure 8 track, but they made it like a Mobius strip, which is cool. That's cool. Like, this is the only time we're ever going to be able to race on something that works like this, but it is a figure 8. So like, it can't get that much higher. Number 67, DK Summit. Oh, I go back and forth on this one so much. Some days this is in the 20s. I'm not kidding. But some days it's down here in the 60s. And look, do I love DK Summit? Yeah, it's fun to race on. But I really love, like, the second half of the course. First half is kind of boring. Like, that first chunk when you're just kind of going down and you got the bumps and the, like, little ramps, it's alright. It really picks up when you get the double half pipe and you're dodging the Shy Guys. But the first half is, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. But if you love DK Summit, I get it. Number 66, Bone Dry Dunes. I love me some pirates, and that's kind of all I got to say about it. Like, the track design is pretty good here. It's alright track design, but the visuals are a little mid. I've never been a huge fan of desert levels, but I do like pirates, so it gets a little bit of a pass. Number 65, Rome Avanti. I don't know what it is about this one, because the track design doesn't really stand out as super memorable to me, and the visuals are like, they're good, but they're alright. But there's just something about driving through the Coliseum that I'm like, damn, this rocks actually. Number 64, Rosalina's Ice World. I love me a track that changes a little bit throughout it. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like the Mario Kart Tour City tracks where they change a lot of it every single time, but just like subtle differences, like in Rosalina's Ice World, where on the first lap, you can get on the ice pretty easily, but on the second and third lap, unless you got a boost, you're going underwater. I think that's a really fun option and a good way for people in the back to catch up that feels earned. Other than that though, it's alright. Like, there's nothing amazing besides that, but I really like that aspect. Number 63, Daisy Circuit. If Double Dash was not my favorite Mario Kart, I think Mario Kart Wii would be. And that's mainly the memories I have with this game. I was so obsessed with Mario Kart Wii that all throughout middle school, my bus would pick me up at 7:15, but I would wake up at 6 o'clock so I could play Mario Kart Wii for like 45 minutes before I had to go to school. I loved it that much. So all Mario Kart Wii tracks are gonna be a little up there just because I love them. I love them so much. And this is one of them, Daisy Circuit. It's so pretty. It's got a pretty basic track design. It's not super interesting to race on, but it's so pretty to look at. Look at this course. It's so pretty. Number 62, Paris Promenade. I think this is our second to last oh, no, I'm wrong. I was gonna say, I think this is our second to last city track. I think we have 2 more after this. So this is our third to last city track. And what can I say? Paris Promenade is really pretty, and I just talked about how I like courses where the last lap you go backwards, and you do that here and it feels really cool. Number 61, Baby Park. All right, here's where I gotta fight for my life. I've been complaining about ovals the whole time, but Baby Park is near the top of C tier. What the hell is he on about? I got two things to say to defend myself. One, I'm a sucker for Double Dash. But two, this would have been an A tier if this was Double Dash. It really comes down to the items. Items were so much more hectic in Double Dash, and they were a lot bigger, and there was signature items, and you got a lot more of them, and they hurt a lot less when you got hit by them. But then you go to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and there's a little less items. Mostly green shells is what you're going to see here, and they're way more punishing when you get hit, so it's a lot less fun. But I'm just, when I hear, I get activated like a sleeper agent. I just want to, oh man, I want to play Baby Park now. I love Double Dash, man. I love Double Dash so much. Number 60, Mario Circuit DS. I realize I haven't been saying the console the courses are from, and I probably should because there are some doubles. So I'll do that moving forward. Regardless, Mario Circuit DS, one of the more visually interesting Mario circuits. I love the different stages you go through in this course. I love the castle in the background. It's not an amazing course. It is in the C tier because it's a little basic, but it is a really nice Mario circuit to bring over. Like, when they were looking at DLC, because I'm pretty sure this is a DLC course, when they were looking at DLC courses to bring over, there was somewhere I'm like, why did you bother? Toad Circuit being a perfect example. But this Mario Circuit, I'm like, I get it. It looks nice. Number 59, Yoshi Valley. Oh, I so want to love Yoshi Valley. I so want to love Yoshi Valley. If the other paths in Yoshi Valley had a reason to go for them, this might be one of my top 5 tracks of all time. I love the aesthetic, and I love the idea. I love the idea of a course with like 7 or 8 different paths, and all of them are viable depending on the moment. You need items, go to this path. You want coins more than anything, go to this path. You just want to be fast, you're not getting anything, but you can go down this path. I love that idea. But objectively, there is exactly one correct path on this course, and everything else sucks horribly. So, like, they kind of flubbed it. I'm hoping, I saw there was that one Mario Kart World track where it's like roots going up a tree. Now, that might have been just a transition track. I don't know, but I hope that is a full course, and if so, I hope it's better than this. Because like I said, if that idea was executed correctly, it'd be a top 5 track for me. But it's not. So, C tier you go. Number 58, Sweet Sweet Canyon. It's really cute. I love the aesthetic of this one, but like track-wise, it is pretty basic. You know, you do your one turn, you go through a cannon, you do a one spiral, you do one more turn, and you get to the end. Like, that's about it. Like, it's pretty basic. It's fun. It's all right. It looks nice, but nothing jumps out at me that goes, I love this course, you know? But that is our last course, our top of C tier. Moving forward onto the B tier, these are all courses that I'm pretty excited about. It gets loaded up, I'm like, hell yeah, let's play it. Starting with number 57, Twisted Mansion. I'm not gonna hold you. This is one of the weaker Boo-themed courses in Mario Kart. However, that's still saying something, because Boo-themed courses tend to be pretty heat, especially Haunted Mansion-type courses. So Twisted Mansion, while it's one of the weaker mansion spooky courses out there, it's still a good course inherently, and I do like the aesthetic a lot. Number 56, GBA Boo Lake. Damn! Alright, Game Boy, show it up for once. This is actually really good. I don't know what the original track layout is like, but I love how the track layout was interpreted for this game, and the underwater section makes it feel really interesting, and it gives you that good, like, underwater low-grav angle that actually meaningfully changes how you drive, where a lot of the time underwater just means it's time to be slow, and low-grav means nothing. When it's combined like this, it feels more impactful. Number 55, Sky Garden. Once again, I heard a lot of people complaining, because apparently this track design is very different from Super Circuit. But I never played Super Circuit. This is the first time I've played GBA Sky Garden, and I gotta say, I love it. The aesthetic is cool, the track design, while simple, allows for fun shortcut taking, and it just, I do love a track in the skies. There's a reason why it's gonna be a while until we get to the Mario Kart 8 version of a track in the skies. Number 54, Sherbert Land. I love Double Dash so much! Anyway, Sherbert Land is alright, you know? I think, as much as I love the underwater additions, especially in the first half of the track, I think my main complaint with it is the second half of the track, adding an underwater section. Now hear me out. Obviously, I could just take the top path, and then I wouldn't have anything to complain about. But objectively, the underwater path in the second half is faster and safer. You should take that path. But one of the things about Sherbertland that I loved on Double Dash was the course itself was fine. It was all these goddamn obstacles that were in the way and made things hectic. And you kind of don't get the second one because you're gonna go underwater anyway. So I don't know. This is maybe just a user error, but I don't love the underwater section in the second half because it takes a really hectic section and kind of standardizes it. Number 53, Koopa Cape. One of the coolest Mario Kart Wii tracks is Koopa Cape. It was awesome when we first got it. It was a little sanitized when we got it next, and unfortunately, it's a lot sanitized than we have it now. The lack of water jet and spinning electric does make this feel a little underwhelming, but as a course, Koopa Cape is still so cool. The down the river section feels good every time, and now that we get to go underwater, this little bottom track feels even cooler. So it's still a great course, but I do miss that original version of Koopa Cape. Number 52, 3DS Rock Mountain. I'm so torn on Rock Mountain. The general course is alright, like the general track design is okay, but I really do love that big glider section. A lot of the time, glider sections in this game just feel like, oh cool, I get to not pay attention for a couple seconds. Whereas like this one feels meaningful, like it feels like there's purpose to where you are gliding to. At least how little you can control that. So I do think that it gets a lot of praise because of that. This would probably be a C tier track if not for that really fun gliding section. Number 51, Animal Crossing. Alright, I'm of two minds here. The track design here, kinda mid. It's a very basic track. But there is enough stuff that can be on the track that it's actually interesting to have to dodge, and I love the design inspiration for this level. First of all, I love Animal Crossing. Straight up. A lot of the reason why I love this course is because I get to go, wait, I know that reference. Wait, I know that reference as I'm driving. But also, I love the idea of changing seasons. It's something that I can't wait for Mario Kart World of different weather, but the idea of seeing this same course in completely different ways, depending on what season you're booting into. And the best part is they play meaningfully differently, having different obstacles in your way. And that's just something that really makes me warm to this track. Number 50, DS TikTok Clock. I just realized it's crazy that we're halfway through, but we're in B tier. That just says how good these tracks are. But TikTok Clock is one of those really good ones. I think the track design is really solid, and the obstacles are really fun to dodge. I'm not huge, I don't care that much about the aesthetic of this course, but I think the reason it's this high is because it's just fun to drive on. It's just a really well-designed course. Number 49, DS Peach Gardens. Fun fact, I forgot Peach Gardens was originally in the DS because I played Mario Kart Wii so much and I played Mario Kart DS so little. So I was so sure Peach Gardens was a Wii track until I saw that it was a DS track. Regardless, I love Peach Gardens because of Mario Kart Wii, and especially I love that we get to go backwards on the last lap. It feels so cool to go backwards for no reason on these courses. I've heard there was a rumor that Mario Kart World is going to have, instead of mirror mode, a reverse mode. God, I hope that's true. That sounds so cool. Number 48, officially halfway through, GBA Snowland. They really went all out for these GBA remasters. They said, hey, we got a very basic SNES adjacent course. Let's make this interesting. And they did. This is an interesting course. The track design, while a little basic, has plenty of allowances for fun shortcuts, and there's meaningful obstacles that you have to pay attention to. This is just, hey, good job. It's good. Good, period. Number 47, second to last Mario Kart Tour City track, Singapore Speedway. This one has a lot going for it. First of all, beautiful. Second of all, great song. But I think the truest strength for Singapore Speedway is the fact that it feels like one long course instead of a messy spaghetti on the same area. The part of the reason why I don't like a lot of the pathing in city tracks is that it's like one block that you're going different directions in. Whereas this one feels like we're just doing one long course. And I know we do repeat a section here, but it doesn't feel repetitive, and I'm not exactly sure why. But they did a really good job with this one. Number 46, Moonview Highway. if I'm being so real, part of the reason this is here is because it reminds me of Mushroom City, I think it was called, in Double Dash. Not the bridge one, but the one where it's like night and you're going in the downtown. It just reminds me of that one, and I like that course a lot. Moonview Highway's okay, but it makes me think about a course I like more, so it's here. Look, I didn't say this was objective. Number 45, the last Mario Kart City Tour, and my favorite city version of a race course, Vancouver Velocity. I'm being super real. I just really like the hiking section. Like, the rest of this course is pretty bog standard for a city track, but I am enamored and in love with the bridge through the woods section. It's hard, it's interesting, it gets really hectic when there's a lot of players, and I am a sucker for a forest aesthetic. So I love looking around in this big old forest. Number 44, Mushroom Gorge. Hey, what'd I say? Bangkok got so high because I like bouncing. Now we got literally the pioneer of bouncing in Mario Kart. Mushroom Gorge is good. It's a fun course. I love this little dinky shortcut that's not very fun to use. I love going through a cave where you have to like fight for your life bouncing on these mushrooms. Yeah, it's a fun course. I really like it. Number 43, Moo Moo Meadows. I get that this is one of the more basic courses, and I don't know if I wanted it in Mario Kart World, but I do have a major soft spot for this course, because look, I'm only human. Look at this cow. It's so cute. I love these dumb cows. And I also have another soft spot for it, because this is one of the few racetracks that my toddler actually, like, recognizes, and he'll ask to play on the cow farm, and that's really cute. So whatever, I love it. Number 42, GBA Riverside Park. Again, Mario Kart going all out for these Game Boy remasters. This is beautiful. This is one of the prettiest tracks in the game somehow, and I love these dumbass waddling piranha plants. There's a different name, I'm forgetting at the moment, correct me in the comments, but I love how dumb these guys look. They're so funny looking. I will say, slight tangent here, I've said for a long time I don't necessarily want Pokemon games to become more visually realistic. I want them to become visually distinct. And I've used Riverside Park as an example. I think if we got a 4K 60 perfectly running Pokemon game that had this aesthetic, I think that would be my favorite Pokemon game, just visually. And I don't think there'd be really a lot of room to complain. I don't need Pokemon to look like Skyrim. I need Pokemon to look cohesive. And I would be perfectly happy if it cohesively looked like GBA Riverside Park from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 41, you've been coconut mauled. Send this video to your 10 of your friends to totally coconut maul them. I mean, it's coconut mall, dog. It's such a cool idea to drive through a mall. It's a really well-designed course. The song's iconic. What am I gonna say? It's coconut mall, dog. It's great. Number 40, DS Wario Stadium. Cards on the table. When I heard that Wario Stadium was coming to Mario Kart World, I thought they meant this one. I didn't know there was one on 64. Anyway, it's a good track. It's, it's all right. It's not my favorite. It's in B tier. I think it's a very well-designed track. I like the aesthetic. It's fun. It's all right. 7 out of 10. Number 39, Dolphin Shoals. One of the most low-key beautiful courses in the game. It's something about Dolphin Shoals that I kind of always forget about it, but it's got a very well-designed course to it. And this last section is so visually impressive, and I always forget it exists because it's only there for like a couple seconds. But we're like driving through a swirling whirlpool storm as the music is swelling. It's insane, and I forget it's here all the time. It's crazy. This is like one of those courses that I'll never remember, but when I see it, I go, oh damn, this is so impressive. Number 38, Wii Grumble Volcano. I said it before, I love a course that slightly changes while maintaining the same general shape throughout it, and Grumble Volcano is kind of the poster child for that. I love the idea of a, frankly, way too easy course getting harder as it goes on because pieces are crumbling away. That's such a cool concept, and Mario Kart 8 does it particularly well because of how easy and wide a lot of the tracks are. Number 37, N64 Rainbow Road. I guess technically my least favorite Rainbow Road in this game. I like it. It's all right. I think it's very pretty. I like the idea of, I love trying to race the train. I don't know how it's programmed to follow you, but I love trying to outspeed the train. It just feels cool. But yeah, it's all right. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the slightly old-timey nature of it. It's a little easy for Rainbow Road, but I do enjoy it. Number 36, Toad Harbor. All right, I get it. Very basic track design, but man, the aesthetic is so pleasant, and it is fun. That's the thing. I think it's a very fun course to race on, as simple as it is. Number 35, Piranha Plant Cove, one of the later additions to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. I'm gonna be super real. I'm not as familiar with the last 2 cups of the DLC that I am the rest of the game. One of the reasons being is just newer, so I've had less time with it, but I wasn't playing Mario Kart as much by the time that DLC came out. So this is one of those courses where I'm like not as familiar with it. I've only played it a few times. So I think if I played it more, I'd like it more. But from like the time I've had with this course, I do like it a lot. I think it's got an incredibly well done track design. The aesthetic is very interesting, but I think I just need to play it more to really appreciate it more. Number 34, Super Bell Subway. Man, this was really, I think, the best first impression for me for Mario Kart 8 in general. This was one of the courses that really stuck out for me. And it really came down to, 1, interesting course design, but 2, having to dodge and or drive on top of these subway cars is so fun. And I understand that like the fastest strategy is staying on the ground, but it's so interesting and fun to take the top paths and try to land on the subway cars. It's something that I will always remember fondly. Number 33, Sunshine Airport. Top of B tier. Technically my highest B tier track. It's good. I think I'm running out of things to say about B tier tracks. Just being super honest. It's a good course. I don't know what to say. It's aesthetically pleasing, it's well designed, and it's fun. And I think that's all it's gotta be. And that's our B tier. We are officially moving on to A tier, which is the best of the best in my opinion. These are courses that if it's an option, I'm always gonna pick it. But I may have 1 or 2 qualms that keep it out of the highest echelon of S tier. Starting with number 32, Maple Treeway. Man, this was my favorite Mario Kart Wii track. It's just so pretty. I love forest aesthetics. I love fall, and this is a fall tree level where you're driving on branches and you're dodging wigglers, and it's like hard in an interesting and fun way. It's so cool. I love this track so much. My main complaint, honestly, is that it's a little bit easier here than it was on Wii because the track got a little wider. And that's like a big part of its like essence that I think is missing here. But it is still an amazing track, and it belongs in the A tier, if not higher. Number 31, DK Mountain. Now, earlier I talked about DK Jungle. I meant DK Mountain. I mixed it up. My bad. They're all in the jungle sometimes. It's a DK level. But GameCube DK Mountain on Double Dash. Second favorite course in Double Dash. I love this course so much. But it's in A tier because, like I said earlier, Mario Kart 8 really sanitized this course. A lot of the tracks are wider, the turns are a bit more forgiving, and that bridge still just isn't the Double Dash bridge. That Double Dash bridge was hell. Hell that we had to forge ourselves to get through. And now it's just kind of like a little tricky, but I still love this. Got it. I love Double Dash so goddamn much. Number 30, Rainbow Road. I keep forgetting to do that. Number 30, Wii Rainbow Road. It's a good Rainbow Road. I don't know what you want me to say about it. It's really solid. It's plenty tricky. It's really pretty. Not my favorite Rainbow Road. I think my favorite Rainbow Road is probably Double Dash, if you couldn't tell. Not my favorite Rainbow Road Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but we'll get there when we get there. Number 29, Bowser's Castle. This is a good Bowser's Castle. I really like the big punching statue. I think the track design is interesting and complex without being frustrating, and it's very solid. I like a lot about it. I think it could have been harder, and not to constantly dick ride Double Dash, but Double Dash's Bowser Castle had a lot tighter turns that I think are missing here. Whereas they did Bowser a lot better in this version. Instead of just the stationary statue that shoots a couple fireballs, having this big punching statue, while easier to dodge, is really cool. But I think the turns here could have been harder for what is supposed to be one of the harder courses in this game. Like, we're not in Mario Circuit anymore. You can make a very difficult track, and I think they shied away from it in this Bowser's Castle. Number 28, Rainbow Road. Yeah, so this, speaking of it could have been harder, welcome to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road is supposed to be the pinnacle of your game. It's supposed to be the hardest course and really cool looking at the same time. And when I play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Rainbow Road, I'm like, it's all right. It's cool. I like the tech aesthetic of it. It's interesting, but it's not necessarily difficult. You know, you get used to it pretty quick. I do love the overlapping section at the end because I think it's really fun to keep trying to stay on one path and just like jumping off of it. But look, it's an A rank. Like Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road, they're both an A tier. I love these courses, but my biggest complaint is you could have made it harder. That's all. Speaking of Rainbow Road, by the way, this video is coming out before Mario Kart World is. But Mario Kart World is coming out Thursday the 5th, right alongside the Switch, and I'm doing a midnight release for it. I'm going to try to live stream myself picking it up, but you know, it's public. People around me might not want me to, and I will respect their wishes. However, no matter what, around 1 a.m. the second I get home with that Switch, I am booting it up, I am going live, and I'm going to try to be the first live streamer to unlock Rainbow Road. So I will see you there at twitch.tv/RyeToastYT, and probably on this channel because it's a big event. Number 27, 3DS Piranha Plant Slide. What a cool level. I love the idea of like, hey, you know, 1, 2, you know, like underground levels. What if we made a whole course about doing that? That's cool as hell. I think it's awesome. And you know, like the Piranha Plant stuff is cool too, but like the fact that it's so underground inspired is awesome. And I love courses that have water speed boosts. I think that's always a fun thing to add. My main complaint with this is just that, like, as cool as it is, I think it could have been a bit more interesting track design wise. But other than that, you know, A tier. Not a lot of complaints. Wild Woods. You all remember me ranting about how much I love Maple Treeway? Wild Woods scratches that same itch, but it's got a little bit more interesting of an aesthetic. I like seeing this like tiny civilization living in this massive tree. That's really cool. It is easier, but it's meant to be because it's an earlier track. And I think for as easy as it needs to be, it still has plenty of interesting aspects to it and possible shortcuts. So yeah, just very good. Number 25, Cheeseland. God damn, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe taking GBA levels and making them peak. This is peak. I can't believe they made a desert that's themed around cheese. Fun. This course is fun. There's so many shortcuts, really interesting turns, plenty of craters to trick off of. It's just super fun to play. The only reason it's not in S tier is just that, like, the aesthetic does suck. I'm sorry. Like, a track that the aesthetic is a desert, but it's cheese. Okay. Number 24, Electrodrome. Talk about cool. This course is just cool. It's only an A tier, not S tier, because it has a, you know, more simple track design, arguably. But I love the aesthetic of Electrodrome, and it just looks cool to drive in. And look, to be honest, when we get close to like the borders of these tiers, it gets a little blurry. Some days Electrodrome could be S tier, but when I made this, it felt A tier in my heart. Number 23, Daisy Cruiser. I love Double Dash so much. It's a good level. I think it's really fun. I like that they took this little extra area and made it an underwater level. I think that was already done the last time they brought it back, but I'm glad they kept that because that's a fun idea. Although I do miss those piece of shit like life preservers that you would bounce into and it would just mess up your whole driving day. I miss that, but it's a good course. Number 22, Ice Outpost. It's a good course. I don't know. Look, interesting thing. So we've been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as we keep getting ready for World coming out. We've just been playing a lot in our free time. And when we play it, we just kind of put on 150cc, turn off coins and bananas, and then just go 48 courses random and just let fate decide. And I have not gotten Ice Outpost in like months. I swear my game hates this course. I like this course. It's got a fun, interesting design. It's got one of the best and most skill-intensive shortcuts in the entire game. I love the Ice Outpost shortcut. It cuts off so much of the track, but it's so hard. You need to earn it, and I love that. But I just haven't gotten it in forever. I don't know why. Number 21, Wario's Gold Mine. One of my favorite Mario Kart Wii tracks for good reason. Everyone loves Wario's Gold Mine. Interesting course design. They made a straightaway fun by making it a 90-degree angle for no reason. And I do think the minecarts were more fun though when they hurt you instead of helped you. Now that they helped you, the second half has a lot less stakes to it, which is why I think it's not an S tier. but I still love this course, and it's still well deserving of the A tier spot. Number 20. We're getting into the top 20 now. We're getting to the best of the best. We're still in A tier, but like everything in A tier, S tier, I love them. So like best of the best, but we're officially in top 20 territory. Starting with Hyrule Circuit. I am a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and I could not be happier with this course. This song, peak. Changing coins to rupees, peak. Having Zelda enemies, peak. Having a mini puzzle that unlocks a shortcut, peak. The track design, all right. So that's why it's an A, not S, but you know, it's good. Number 19, Thwomp Ruins. This is one of my favorite original courses for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm looking at the rest of this tier list, and I'm happy to say that a lot of it is still original courses. But when I think about Thwomp Ruins in particular, it really stands out at like, this is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at its peak. Take an interesting concept, iterate upon it, and give us a cool track design. And that's what we get here. There's some fun shortcuts that you can take if you're behind, and you can't really do them if you're in front, and that's well balanced. I don't know, I like the course. Number 18, top of A tier, our last A tier course, GameCube Yoshi Circuit. I love Double Dash. Yoshi Circuit is such a fun concept. I love the idea that they managed to make an outline of Yoshi actually fun to play on. And it is actually really fun to play on. It's a great course, great shortcuts. I got one qualm, one problem. Why the fuck did you take away the underground shortcut? It's not even good. Let it stay. I said before, Double Dash was the king of meaningless shortcuts that are cool to do, but not helpful. And in Double Dash, you could go off the side of the course into the ocean, but get saved by a secret tunnel that would spit you out over at the ramp, skipping all the piranha plants. Is it good? No. Is it faster? No. Is it fun to do? Yes. They took it out. Free my boy underground shortcut. We are now officially in the S tier. Every course on here is a must play. If it comes up, I'm excited. I can't wait to play it. If I'm picking my own, I'm picking one of these. These are the best of the best. Starting with number 17, Cloud Top Cruise. What a track, ladies and gentlemen. I said earlier in Sky Garden that there's another In the Sky track that'll be much later. I wasn't kidding. Here it is in the S tier. This is a beautiful course, interesting track design, meaningful obstacles, fun shortcut. What is there not to love? Number 16, Neo Bowser City. This is what I say when tracks can be harder. This is such a well-balanced, difficult track. This track will send you off the side if you're not paying attention and you're not being careful, but it's earned, it's fun, and it's got a cool aesthetic. Number 15, one of the better rainbow roads out there, 3DS Rainbow Road. What can I say? I'm not in the minority. Everyone loves this course. It's cool to drive on planets. What do you want from me? Number 14, Ribbon Road. Why does GBA get so many cool remasters? Ribbon Road's awesome. What do you mean? Let's take a shitty Super Circuit track and make it one of the most interestingly designed courses in the entire game, where we get to be small and we're driving on toys and it's interesting to play on. I love it. Number 13, Mute City. We're not getting a new F-Zero game, but at least we got two really good F-Zero Mario Kart tracks, and one of them is Mute City. It's good. Like, it's very fun to race on. The shortcut at the end is really hard to pull off, but if you do, it's peak. And it's just really cool to play on an F-Zero track. Number 12, Yoshi's Island. Oh yeah, this one is peak. Now, I will say, whenever I think of Yoshi's Island, I always kind of forget about the middle. I always forget about the underwater park. I'm like, oh, I love the aesthetic. I love the beginning. I love the cloud section and the glider with this shortcut that you have to earn by hitting the thing. And it's a reference. It's so cool. But I forget there's a whole underwater section in the middle that's like kind of mid, but whatever. It's still an S-tier track. I love this track. Number 11, Shy Guy Falls. Okay, hear me out. One of the more simple track designs in the game. But one, Shy Guys are cool and funny and they go along with the song. And two, it is really cool to drive up and then also drive down a waterfall. That's sick as hell. And there's really fun shortcuts to take near the end, so sue me. Number 10, top of the top 10. Number 10, Music Park. What a track. Excellent track design, excellent aesthetic. I love hearing the piano go when you're going down the piano ramps. It doesn't link up, it doesn't have to. It sounds cool, it sounds better this way. It's a fun track. You can trick off the bouncing quarter notes. I love this track. Number 9, SNES Bowser Castle 3. You're telling me you could have done this the whole time with SNES courses? Why in the hell is every SNES Mario circuit boring as hell? And then they said Bowser Castle 3, yeah, sure, we'll just make that one of the best Bowser Castles of all time. We've got hard turns, verticality, a great look. This section at the end is amazing. You're telling me there's high paths, you can get stuck in the low paths, it puts you into a turn. This is so cool. They could have done this the whole time for SNES tracks. Why didn't they? Number 8, Mount Wario. I'm trying to hope that this isn't getting carried by its music, because it is one of the best songs in the game, but it is just a really well-designed course. They made going down a mountain fun, because it's interesting. We go through the woods, we go down the dam, we go to this cave. It's not just driving in snow, DK Summit. This is going down a mountain perfected. Number 7, Waluigi Pinball. Maybe a controversial. It's a testament to how good this course is that number 7 might be controversially low for this course. Because a lot of people, this is top 3. And I get it. Waluigi Pinball, one of the best songs, one of the most fun tracks to drift on in the first half. I have no complaints here. I love this track. There's just tracks I love more. But I do love how this track drives, right? There are certain tracks that feel satisfying to drive on, and this is one of them. Number 6, Dragon Driftway. Speaking of tracks that are fun to drive on. Whoo-wee, Dragon Driftway. I want to drift away. I just want to drift, and I can drift so much on Dragon Driftway. It's so fun. I'm shaking my head. It's probably making the recording sound whack, but I don't care. I love this track. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in the SS tier. I didn't mention this yet, but I separated these top 5 courses into their own SS tier. I think it's like super. I don't know, dude. It's the top, the best. Whenever you see it on tier lists, you see it like this. But the important thing is that this is my top 5 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks. Each one of these are my favorites. They are my babies. They are special to me, and I love them. Starting with number 5, Big Blue. Y'all heard me talk about how much I like Mute City. Take that, add an interesting water decline, and make it its own course the whole time. Big Blue is so fun to race on. Such fun shortcuts to try to pull off. Such interesting jumps to try to make. And it's just a good track. Number 4. Somehow my favorite Rainbow Road in this game, SNES Rainbow Road. I know. No, I get it. Like, it's weirdly basic. But at the same time, because of the limitations of being an SNES course, this is one of the hardest courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and one of the most satisfying courses to get good at. And I love it. Number 3, Squeaky Clean Sprint. I am a huge sucker for aesthetic where you're really small in a normal thing and it makes it feel fantastical. That's awesome. Also, there's verticality in this track. One of my favorite things about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks is some of them are really vertical. Like, AKA, there's different paths you can take that do different heights. It makes it really compelling of a track. And that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for Mario Kart World, because it seems like such a vertical racer. And we get that in Squeaky Clean Sprint, especially at the end, where there's not only this bottom track and the top track, but the top track you can go either right back down to the faucet, or you can go to the right side, and there's a whole separate track over there. That's really cool. Speaking of vertical though, number 2, my second favorite course in the game, Ninja Hideaway. What a track. First of all, beautiful. You know, I love the aesthetic of this area. I am a little bit of a weeaboo, so it's probably partly why, but it looks really cool, and it's so vertical. Right away, do you go up or down? Then, right away, do you go top path, bottom path? Can you stay on the top path? If you fall to the bottom path, do you use the shortcut? And then you get a glider, which immediately brings you to another choice of top or bottom, which then brings you, it's vertical the whole way. It's such a diverse and interesting and fun to race on course. But when I started this list, I had a feeling I knew what would be number 1 on this tier list. And if you've been paying attention, I think you know too, because number 1 in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, my favorite course in this entire game, GameCube Waluigi Stadium. I love Double Dash! This course looks beautiful. Banger song. plays beautiful. So many fun shortcuts to try to pull off at different levels. You know, when you're first starting out and you want to do some basic shortcuts, there's some corners you can cut. When you want to get a little harder, you can go to this half pipe section and try to remain on the top and ride the wave. When you want to get a little better, you can try to cut out this entire mud section by driving on this little lip. This is such a well-designed course. It's beautiful. It's got one of the best songs in the game because it's Double Dash OST is peak. I love this track. And with that, we're done. We've ranked every single Mario Kart 8 Deluxe track from Tokyo Blur all the way to Waluigi Stadium and everything in between. And when I look back on this course selection, it's good. It's a course selection that even after Mario Kart World is out, will have me coming back. As much as Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 coming out is the end of an era, I'll be coming back to Mario Kart Deluxe plenty to play some of these courses. Wow, I'm feeling weirdly emotional saying that out loud. I know, I'm a big sap. I'll see you live for Mario Kart World. Until then, you've been watching RyeTwost. Of all the YouTube channels, it's the second one. Stay toasty, slices.